So the Great Civil Debate Wall is a new experiment in using digital media to allow people to engage in constructive dialogue around controversial topics. I'll do a little overview of the project itself and then talk about the process by which we'll bring it forth, and then how we imagine you all will both be plugging into and really leading a lot of our efforts. There's a general premise floating around in the world about how social media, digital media, online presence, all the new contemporary forms of communications are really driving people to extreme points of view. There's been a widely debated idea about so-called digital echo chamber, where people are constantly having their own points of view reinforced. And so we're interested in creating an interface that is necessarily media-based, but that's public. That is there to foster constructive dialogue and visibility between people who necessarily disagree, but have rational and reasonable approaches to these very difficult subjects. Where we are right now is, again, we have this concept which is really looking to bring together different people into what we're calling constructive dialogue and debate. And so the debate wall will essentially be a space where people can enter into dialogue around these different topics. And the topics might include everything from citizenship to deficit reduction, oil drilling to gay marriage, certain hot button topics like immigration, and certain more philosophical questions about bipartisanship or about citizenship in general. It's a four-part process. We've already finished the first, which is the general concept. Thankfully, that's been funded. So now we have these next three steps. And the first step is a prototyping step in which we are going to be working actively with this group in order to put together some ideas and some questions that we have and test them both internally and then externally.
Should the federal government require more stringent safety regulations for
offshore drilling?
For offshore drilling.
Right. A list would be great, yeah?
Absolutely.
Oh!
Oh my God!
Hey, for preparation here, my goodness.
Awesome.
I love this. So you've been thinking about this?
Right. The Public Service Council, actually, we had a meeting on Monday.
Okay, good.
And I had the entire group split up into some smaller groups, and we came up with a list.
Some of the questions that are interesting here are the ones that are actually very abstract.
So, and the question on here is one that I think was either exactly one of yours or inspired by one of yours. One of the things that we're going to ask you guys to do is kind of come up with the final couple questions that you want to test within this at the end.
In the end, the sort of ongoing maintenance for the project will end up with you all.
Republican. Thank you. Okay, what a balanced group we are.
The dancers dance for 26.2 hours. There's about 500 people, I think, that are dancing. And then all of the people working, all the people visiting and things like that. So I don't know, because we're planning on doing it live this Monday, right?
I think we said Tuesday.
Tuesday. If we could bump that up to maybe Saturday. Saturday is when the event starts. We could get 1,000 people easily within that day.
So what was the reason again why you didn't want to use the word wall?
I'm thinking it might be easier to promote if it's called the wall or something like that, and you can say, hey, did you check out the wall today, or like the wall this week? Because it's harder to say the Great Civil Debate Wall.
It explains what the project is and then has that as an attachment, so people can use it as their Facebook profile pictures, and then we're happy to kick it back and forth. I don't know, Sabine, do you want to write that and we can like look at it over here, or?
Yeah, absolutely, I can take that.
Did you say both URLs are available?
Yeah, we own Civil Debate Wall as well.
Okay. And
Switch to that.
and once we decide which one it's going to be, we're going to try to get as many people as possible going on. But it should be up there too, right? I mean, that makes sense.
Maybe not. Live is a very relative term. Live just means you're promoting it. And then from there we can go over our game plan for getting it out there.
I remember last year the idea was introduced in just some packet, like just a pamphlet with a bunch of pictures of what the wall could look like. And, it seemed like a cool idea, but I didn't think that they were going to go forward with it because it just seemed so just out of this world. But then, people started responding to it, and our focus groups helped us, pick out questions, and people really liked it.
There's never anything on a college campus that was anything similar to this. So we had a lot of questions going into it, and not a lot of answers were obvious.
We would have meetings on Monday evenings, and I remember the first one we wrote questions, and then the second one there was a projector with a black screen that had yes, no, maybe on it, and then there were all these different phases.
Most of the design features were created by local projects, but they always look to our input to see what would work for students and their needs.
It's interactive. People can walk right up to it and they feel like they're engaged in a debate in like a physical presence, but then also there's this total online aspect, this digital aspect. Like I've gotten text messages that people have responded to my post on the wall, and then I can use my phone to respond back. And then there's the web. So there's all these different ways that you can engage in civil debate with other people, and I think that's really unique.
We did some research about the traffic through the building and how many students come through and what are the peak hours. From that, we were able to decide what the best place would be to put the wall, how long we would want the average interaction to be, because you want to find the balance between getting positive, constructive interaction with the wall, but not having to force people to invest a lot of time at the wall, because a lot of our users are using it during like a study break or even just walking to class where you only have like 5-10 minutes.
And then it eventually became what it is now, and I would have never seen it coming to what it is now, but I think it's so great the way it is now. It feels really great that we can like own a piece of that we've been there from the beginning. I think that's really exciting.